All right, good evening everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well tonight. Oh, that's interesting. Anywho, hopefully everyone is doing well tonight. We will be attempting round 2's Prime Cup Challenge. There we go. That seems like my mic audio should be a little bit better now. We'll be doing Prime Cup round 2's challenge. Go ahead and get our hardware up and running. There we go. Let's see how far we can push in. I was able to get a pretty decent amount of the Pokemon to level 100. It's amazing what properly IV trained and EV trained Pokemon look like. Sorry, Pidgeot. I didn't prioritize Pidgeot because we rarely used it. There was only one Pokemon I couldn't get up to 100 from our usual staple, and that was Executor. But I wanted my main yellow team to be at 100, as you can see here. They're all level 100. And we compare their stats. Like if we look at Pikachu over here with 268 speed and 194 special. Compare it to that, and it's doing way better than this Reno Pikachu right here. If we look at some other of my staples here, like let's look at Charizard. He's right on top of the list. 296 speed and 268 special. Like no contest. Like 40 to 50 points higher than the rental. This Charizard has Swords Dance, but it had the only physical move it has is flying. And the Swords Dance would be good for getting it to be faster, I guess. And then the rental Venusaur only has 205 speed and 245 special. I know I'm just using those. What's up? And we compare it to the Venusaur I have. Right? Look at that. 230, 294. It's ridiculous. Oh, Box 8 is grayed out because there's nothing in Box 8. So yeah, still have some other Pokemon I want to get to 100, depending on how far we can make it through here. Obviously, Executor is going to be one of them. Mew will probably be one of them. I haven't caught Mewtwo yet. We're up to 149 Pokemon. Still need an Electabuzz. Electabuzz. I don't know why I said it that way. Electabuzz from official One Piece Slayer, which I'm sure I'll be getting pretty soon. And then catching Mewtwo will round off the Pokedex, and Pokemon Yellow will be done. And then we can potentially, once we beat this game, start moving on to Pokemon Stadium 2. Let's get it, baby. Yep. Let's go ahead and round out our usual staples. Unfortunately, like I said, Executor, it's probably not going to be part of this, so it will substitute him in with Venusaur. Gyarados has not disappointed us, so Gyarados will also be on the team. It's good old Alakazam. Alakazam's in here. Level 100 Alakazam is scary compared to the rental. Hold on, because I have to. If we look at the rental Alakazam, I forget where it is. It should be somewhere around here. There it is. Alright, the stats we care about are probably speed and special. 276, 306. And then we look at mine. Like it is significantly above the rental. And of course, last but not least, old reliable so far, Tauros. Aros is also doing pretty good. We'd probably care about his attack more than anything here. So he's got 298 attack, and the rental has... Gonna be all the way down here. 239. Redonkulous. Alright, so we've got our level 100 team here ready to go. And up first is Cue Ball. What the heck? A level 100 Caterpie Weedle. Like, literally anything I send out against this team is gonna dominate it. Yeah, I think my... Why does he have a level 100 Magikarp? Like, Magikarp can only know Splash and Tackle. I don't even think you can teach it TM moves. I think you can teach it Surf. What? Alakazam by himself? Probably. I don't even want to think about what I'm sending out just because it's not gonna matter.
Pokemon Tournament Prime Cup Pokeball. Who will win it all in this wide open, unlimited level? Here's the first move. Major damage.
Oh, he actually tanked it a bit.
What will the trainer do now? Block the weak.
Oh, that hurt a lot more than I thought it was gonna hurt. Yo, I was laughing at his team, but that almost did half of Alakazam's health. And it didn't. Alakazam did not one-shot it. Granted, it wasn't a super effective hit or a crit.
For the next Pokemon. Oh, it's Rolla. The Pokemon are entirely different types. What's this? The special stat is down. It's burrowed underground. Fireworks are flying in this battle. They strike fighting poses.
I think Alakazam has low HP anyway to begin with, though. But he does have more HP than me, yeah.
A decent hit. Sparks are flying in this heated match. How's that? Drill that weak spot. Oh! Is it down and out? There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Caterpie! The remaining Pokemon count is
It's adorable.
3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
I should have recovered.
Savage attack! A savage hit! Gone! It's a one-hit wonder!
Curious.
And there goes the battle!
Forgot to turn Deepler on. Machop, Rattata. He's got 2 normal types. 1 fighting type, 1 bug flying. Alakazam lead and whatever. Man, you were just... Send Alakazam out.
What kind of battle can we expect to see? Begin round 2.
super effective and a crit.
Taken down on the word go! This is a wild one from the word go. Oh, it's Cubo! How will the type difference affect that? They strike fighting poses. What's that? The special attack is down.
You wasted a turn using focus energy.
The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. How's that? There, it's a hit. Oh, is it down and out? There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Beedrill. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
Even the Beedrill has more HP than I do.
Perfect game! God, it's a one-hit wonder! And there goes the battle!
Oh, it's the gambler. Oh, rock. Rock, ground, psychic, fire, psychic. Entire bottom row is psychic. We have rock, fire, and normal. I like Tauros lead here. Yeah, Tauros, Alakazam, and Gyarados.
The upcoming battles look promising. We're into round 3. They strike fighting poses. Savage attack. No! This Pokemon looks wrong. What will the other side do? Hit the weak spot.
I don't know what. Wait. Shouldn't I have been weak to it?
The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. No, it is! Blizzard! Super effective! Wow!
Oh.
Go down!
I'm surprised it didn't take it down in one hit then. Oh, maybe because it has high defense.
Oh, it's drowsy! How will the type difference affect that? Vigorous attack! A savage hit! It's more resistant to physical blows. Sparks are flying in this heated match.
Oh, and in game, if I use Hyper Beam, like in Pokemon Yellow or Blue, and it KOs, then it doesn't require a recovery, but it does here. They fixed it in Stadium.
Trap back tailwind. Its defense is down. One still raring to go, but the opponent appears beat.
Did he use Tail Whip with no tail? Metronome?
How's that? That's a good hit. And it's down.
So certain things that were broken in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, when you try to do it in Stadium,
Oh, it's Abra.
you can't because it's actually fixed. So I think like the Toxic Leech Seed thing I said, it'll work in like a Link battle, it'll work in game, but if you tried to do it in Stadium, it wouldn't stack on each other the way that it does in the base game.
There it goes. Severe hit. Go!
one hit wonder. There goes the battle. Alright, let's see. We've got a Grimace over there. As far as we can make it, I guess. So at least 3 of them are weak to Psychic, so I'm guessing Alakazam will be the lead.
The crowd's excitement is building. This is round 4. A Psychic Blast! Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. Taken down on the word go! This is a wild one from the word go. Oh, it's Horsey! The Pokemon are entirely different types. What's next?
I mean, if you think we can do 3 cups, we'll do 3 cups.
What's this? Boom! What a furious battle! Savage attack! That's a good hit! Oh! It's down! There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's a Nidoran female! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. How's that?
Sorry, little Nidoran.
That's the weak spot. Gone! It's a one-hit wonder.
Considering what I want to do to see if I can get Pikachu to learn Surf, that's tough. I would like to go in with Mewtwo for Master Ball, because I feel like this is going to solidify the fact that that's probably going to be a 2-on-3. Yeah. I do well here. No. Oh yeah. Do 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 do. Alright, so we got a Jigglypuff, Pikachu, Oddish. Like, oh, you're just like, whatever else.
We're in the last half of the tournament. Things will get white hot. Begin round 5.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Pikachu. I am so sorry. Truly.
Earthquake.
And it's a crit.
Word go. Taken down on the word go. There's been major action already.
Too bad Tauros falls off after Gen 1.
It's Jigglypuff. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-2. This battle is still up in the air. Savage attack. Harsh blow. are flying in this battle. Body slam. Boom. Oh, it's down.
It toxic me.
There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's yes.
You know that he's gonna have a Persian in one of the later cups because he has a Meowth right now.
The battle has become one-sided.
Yeah, it does.
Whoa! The bear hit. Made itself more evasive. One still raring to go, but the opponent appears beat. How's that? Hit the weak spot. Wow! Going down! And there goes the battle!
He's gonna have a Persian and a Wigglytuff. And they're gonna have even more HP. Whoa. The recolor on that Bulbasaur is trippy. No, I didn't. I didn't think we were gonna make it to Master Ball Cup, so I didn't bother.
Field is thinning out. We're into round 6.
Oh my god, why did I do that? I instinctively went for the body. I should have done Blizzard.
Savage attack. The bear hit. A flanking spore attack. Oh no, it fell asleep. Fireworks are flying in this battle. It's fast asleep. What's this? Boom! Sparks are flying in this heated
You
battle.
overzealous fudge sicko. Yeah.
It woke up. What's next? There, it's a hit. The heated battle rages on. No, it is. Blizzard. That's the weak spot. And it's down. Which Pokemon is coming out? Oh, it's Psyduck. The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Oh my god. Waving his head like that. And I hope he picked Bulbasaur. I want to see that trippy colored Bulbasaur.
Major damage. What now? Yeah, it's a hit. The intense battle continues. Body slam. Harsh blow. Wow! Going down. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Poliwag. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
I'm disappointed.
hit. What'll it do? A decent hit. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. Savage attack. Powerful strike.
Oh, another weird thing. Moves that have 100% accuracy in red, blue, and yellow can still miss, which is another thing that's corrected in Stadium. Oh, he's got an Articuno. That's real freaking neato. Everything he has is weak to lightning, electric type. So I'm guessing Jolteon's gonna lead here. Jolteon, Alakazam, and Gyarados. Jolteon, Tauros, and Alakazam. No Gyarados for the Blizzard, I guess.
This is it, the semi-finals. No one wants to lose having
That
come this
Articuno
far.
comes out. Man, the Articuno looks way different.
They go into battle poses.
You little booger.
What'll it be? Yeah, it's a hit. Right, Thunderbolt. Oh, this Pokemon looks strong. Taken down on the word go. We might be in for a one-sided affair.
I've never heard him say that before.
Oh, it's Articuno.
Articuno. I knew it was
The
coming.
Pokemon are entirely different types. It used Thunder Wave. Oops, it's paralyzed. It's paralyzed on the spot. Sparks are flying in this heated match. Vigorous attack. Perfect hit. There's the attack. A savage hit.
I got these everyday no-name trainers have legendary Pokemon.
How's that? Wow, that's a second hit. Oh, is it down and out? There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Doduo. The remaining
don't often see
Pokemon
Doduo.
count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. Savage attack. It's doubly effective. Down! That didn't take much.
I like how only one of the heads reacted.
There goes
The other one just kind of gave a straight face the entire way down. Quadrio. Would it be called Quadrio? That doesn't make sense. Like, I'm assuming it's supposed to be a dodo bird, so duo means two, so dodo duo. And then Dodrio again holds on to the dodo mnemonic, but adds Rio as in trio. So it would have to be something like Doquatic or something. But they also end in O. Doquaduo? Doquado? Oh, I don't know. Doquado. Guessing Alakazam's gonna lead here. Tauros, Alakazam, and whatever. GG easy next.
This is it, the final battle! Who will bask in the glory of the championship?
Oh my god, why'd I do that? I should Blizzard.
Here's the first move. Boom! What will the trainer do now? Yeah, it's a hit! The crowd's
Why are you the way that you
building
are?
over this hot battle.
Listen,
No
you've
hit.
ingrained
Blizzard.
body slam in my head forever.
Second hit.
So now, like, I just without thinking, you like Pavlov's dogged me.
What Pokemon
Like, you've
will be
rewarded me
fighting
by
next?
saying, body, baby, every single time. Now all I think about is body slam.
It's sealed.
Watch, I'll prove you happy. I'm going to go ahead and use Blizzard
Now,
against this seal. Clearly nothing can go wrong.
vigorous attack. Hit the weak spot.
Oh my god, I live by 3.
What's this? There, it's a hit.
Big no.
Fireworks are flying in this battle.
What's a big no? Oh, bingo.
Body slam. Boom. Wow. Going down. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Vulpix.
Oh, clearly I want to use
The
Blizzard here.
remaining Pokemon count is 3-1.
Let's go, Blizzard,
The
baby!
battle has become one-sided. Earthquake! It's doubly effective! Gone! It's a one-hit wonder!
I'm sure Hyper Beam would have taken it out in one hit too.
Congratulations! The champion has been decided!
This was basically the biggest Tauros Alakazam carry ever. Prime Cup Pokeball Round 2 has been cleared. We used Jolteon once. Yeah, we did. Oh my god, this is starting to look pretty. All of these trophies. You know, in the Japanese version, they don't have, like, I don't think any of this. Instead, they have, like, Japanese tournament rules, like, from 97, 98, 99. I can pop in my Japanese copy maybe at the end, and I can show you. Like, it's completely different rule sets for, like, different tournaments that existed in Japan. Instead, we got Petite Cup, and Ika Cup, and Poke Cup, and Prime Cup. Ew, no rentals. No, thank you. Doom, 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 doom. 2 weak to electric, 3 weak to fire. Poison types are also weak to ground type attacks, so Tauros is probably going to lead, I think.
We're finally underway. Pokemon Tournament Prime Cup Great Ball. The first battle of the Champions title is set to start.
Well, this tournament doesn't make sense. Because we're just going like trainer by trainer. It'd be nice if they made a pseudo like tree. Tournament tree.
Whoa, looks like a bad Pokemon choice.
That way at least it feels like a tournament.
The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. What's this? Yeah, it's a hit. What now? That's a good hit.
No, the closest we got to Pokemon Stadium 3 was in like Ultra Sun and Moon, apparently.
Body slam. Good hit. Oh, it's down. Which Pokemon is coming out?
I don't know, I really don't foresee any more of that
Oh,
because,
it's venomous.
I mean, now that Pokemon has essentially become a console game,
How will the type difference affect that? What's that? Boom!
isn't it poison type? Why didn't that hurt it?
What'll it do?
Is Bug immune to earth attack? Like ground attacks?
What a furious battle!
It's poison Bug, right? Does Bug have immunity to ground? I mean, I'm pretty dumb when it comes to this, I don't know.
They're staring each other down.
I don't know, I feel like I might have to switch.
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Like, I'm a little like confused to what the heck happened.
What's the matter, trainer?
Or is it not poison type and I'm like being silly?
The trainer hasn't issued an order. Savage attack! Major damage! Wow! Going down! There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Metapod!
What the heck is up with its eyes?
The remaining count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. They go into battle poses. Vigorous attack. Severe hit. It's paralyzed on the spot. Fireworks are flying in this battle. How's that? A savage hit!
It lived by 2. What the heck? No, not the string shot!
String shot. Its speed is down. Sparks are flying in this heated match.
Bug is resistant to ground. Didn't know. Oh, you didn't know it either? Okay, I don't feel so silly now.
Oh, is it down and out?
So it basically canceled each other out. One super effective, one not very effective, so it did regular damage. Oh my god, no contest. Alakazam leads. I didn't even need to think about it. To be honest, I don't ever use bug except for early gym leaders, so never really noticed. And the closest we ever got to that being early was Brock, but Brock was more a rock type, even though he could have used ground type, so we would have never noticed. I know Alakazam is leading in this fight, and I feel like you're gonna tell me Tauros and whatever. Alakazam, whatever and whatever. I knew it.
What kind of battle can we expect to see? Begin round 2.
I'm so sorry, Machoke.
A psychic blast! No! This Pokemon looks wrong! Taken down on the word go! This is a wild one from the word go! Oh, it's Mankey! The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Sigh all day, day.
How's that? Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. Gone! It's a one-hit wonder. There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Hitmonchan! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. There it goes! Kapow!
Kapow!
Down! That didn't take much! And there goes the battle!
Here comes Mr. Metronome over here. Poly, King C, Tongue Licky, Glurkin, Glurkin, and Let Dig. Let him dig. Oh, interesting. Venusaur, Alakazam, and Tauros.
The upcoming battle looks promising. We're into round 3.
Ice Beam, Blizzard.
Razor Leaf Flurry. Mighty blow from the word go. Quick! Down already! This is a wild one from the word go! Oh, it's Nidorino! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-2. This battle is still up in the air. The Pokemon returns to its Pokeball. Oh, it's Alakazam! What now? There, it's a hit! Will this Pokemon swap change the flow of battle? A Psychic Blast! Kapow! Major damage! Wow! Taken down with one hit! There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Kingler! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. Hit you, Thunder Wave! Oops, it's paralyzed. What's next? Boom! Sparks are flying in this heated match. Now, it's restoring HP. What'll it do? That's a good hit. What a furious battle. It's more resistant to physical blows. It's paralyzed on the spot. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. What's this? Major damage! What now?
Switch to his attack. Oh my god, it was a crit. I think Bubble Beam has a high crit chance.
In this battle. What's next? Good hit. Oh! Is it down and out? And there goes the battle!
Gyarados, Tauros are definitely going to be in here, I think. Venusaur can lead here too, kind of. Although if they use Earthquake, that's going to be problematic. Venusaur, Alakazam, and whatever. Venusaur one-shots 5 of them. There's something about the instant switch out.
Here's the first move. Power strike. Neither one is conceding an inch. They go into battle poses. Leap speed. There, it's a hit. What's that? Yeah, it's a hit. What a furious battle.
Oh, I was gonna switch out. I was setting up for a switch out.
Trainer's changing Pokemon. Oh, it's Alakazam. What's this? Major damage. How will the swapped Pokemon fight? A psychic flash!
I mean, Body Slam probably could have done work.
Wow! Going down! What Pokemon will be fighting next? Here's a Pokemon trick. How will the type difference affect that? They strike fighting poses. Here's a Pokemon trick.
I treat every fight like it's a tough fight.
What now?
Water my plants.
That wasn't effective. How Razor Leaf Flurry. Ground Zero. Gone! It's a one-hit wonder. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's on it! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. There's the attack. Whoa, that's tough. Down! That didn't take much. And there goes the battle.
Dragonair, Tangela, Weeping Bell, Ponyta, Elder, Poison.
We're in the last half of the tournament. Things will get white hot. Begin round 5. They strike fighting poses. Here's the first move. Severe hit. Oh, toxic! It opted to slowly damage the opponent.
Yep,
The heated battle rages on.
the only one.
What's this? Drill that weak spot. Oh! Is it down and out? Which Pokemon is coming out? Oh, it's Tangela! How will the type difference affect battle? No, it is! Blizzard!
Oh, it is Blizzard.
Whoa, looks like a bad Pokemon choice. It increased its attack power. This matchup has become one-sided. Body slam. That's a good hit. And it's down. There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Graveler. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. How's that? Wow, that's an effective hit. It's speeded up. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot
Oh my
battle.
god, what was I thinking? I wasn't.
What'll it do? Boom!
I was not thinking. I mean, should still do the trick, but I was not thinking. Unless you would have told me that body slam was the right way to go there.
Oh,
I know you don't like the not 100% effective moves when they have low health.
there goes the battle.
Taros can do work to 4 of them, so I'm guessing Tauros is gonna lead. Tauros, Jolteon. And Alakazam, I don't know. Boop 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 boop. Yep.
The field is thinning out. We're into
Round 6. Would you recommend I do Blizzard here or Earthquake?
They strike fighting poses.
Whoa!
Whoa! Looks like
A bad Pokemon choice.
A stun for fly.
And we're paralyzed.
Paralyzed. Neither one is conceding an inch.
I don't know.
What's next? A decent hit.
Is ground weak to grass? If no, I know grass is strong against ground,
No, it is.
but I don't know if that ground is weak to grass.
Weak spot. Flash! Going down. What Pokemon will be fighting next? Oh, it's Magneton. The Pokemon are entirely different types. What now? A savage hit!
Ooh, that hurt. And I'm paralyzed.
Paralyzed on the spot.
We are
The intense battle continues.
kind of in trouble here. Might have to switch if we want to continue. Although I don't know, he might be dead anyway, but I think I want to continue.
They're staring each other down. The trainer hasn't issued an order.
I don't want to switch to Alakazam.
What's the matter, trainer?
I'm consulting.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. They go into battle poses. The trainer's changing Pokemon.
I know you don't think we need it, but you never know.
What's this? That's a good hit. How will the SWAT Pokemon fight? Combatants face each other. What'll it do? Harsh blow.
Of course, it knows Thunder Wave.
Into Thunder Wave. Oops, it's paralyzed. Fireworks are flying in this battle. They strike fighting poses. What's next?
I do know, never doubt me. EVER.
What now? Oops, it's paralyzed. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle.
I'm paralyzed. Great.
It's paralyzed on the spot. It's paralyzed on the spot. Sparks are flying in this heated match. It's restoring HP. What's this? Yeah, it's a hit. Neither one is conceding an inch. What'll it do? Heavy damage. What's next? Good hit. Both Pokemon appear weak. It's restoring HP. What now? Hit the weak.
Of course it hits a weak spot. Of course.
The intense battle continues.
And I'm paralyzed. Great.
It's paralyzed on the spot. It's paralyzed on the spot. What a furious battle. A psychic blast. That's a good hit. It goes down after a good fight. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's going to up! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become
This is so annoying. I wish that it hadn't critted me.
Combatants face each
I
other.
have 2 paralyzed Pokemon, so it can't paralyze me again.
To its Pokeball. Oh, it's Jolteon! What's this? There, it's a hit. How will the swapped Pokemon fight? Flying Thunderbolt! That's the weak spot. What'll it do? Boom! The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle.
Oh my god. Hold on, my controller desynced. Happens way more often than I'd like.
They're staring each other down. The trainer hasn't issued an order. What's the matter, trainer? Savage attack! Pow! That's a vicious hit! Oh! Is it down and out? And there goes the battle!
Oh look, he has another legendary bird with him, and his Pidgey evolved. And then I guess he also said screw you and decided to get a Ghastly.
This is it, the semi-finals! No one wants to lose having come this far.
Quado, are you still thinking about that? Quado.
Oh, and a rough
Oh
Pokemon
boy,
change.
look at that. Decided to change Pokemon.
Oh,
And here comes the Zapdos. I knew it. So normal damage.
Yeah, it's a hit. Fireworks are flying in this battle.
Yeah, but that free hit didn't do jack.
Paralyzed.
And he knows Thunder Wave right back.
What now? Oops, it's paralyzed. The intense battle continues.
Aros can't hit in. Alakazam is gonna be at a disadvantage too. So what do you think? Just keep thunderbolting it?
They're staring each other down. They go into battle poses. What's next?
Whack the weak spot.
What'll it do?
Unlike you though, I'm not weak to that.
Neither one.
I have strength against it.
Right. Thunderbolt. Boom. Wow. Going down.
Take you and your
One for the
little
next Pokemon team.
random Zapdos out of here.
Oh, it's Venomous. The Pokemon are entirely different types. Now, what's this? There, it's a hit. What now? Powerful strike. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. What's that? That's a good hit.
Of
Paralyzed on
course.
the spot. Both Pokemon are exhausted.
Should I? That was a Hyper Beam. Should I go for another Thunderbolt and then swap, or what? Or should I swap while it's still safe?
They're staring each other down. The trainer's changing Pokemon. Oh, it's Alakazam! It can't make a move. How will the swapped Pokemon fight? A Psychic Blast! Whoa, that's tough! Oh, is it down and out?
By the way, Bird Boy, that's a
There's
bug.
a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. There's nothing left in reserve. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. What'll it do? Major damage!
Oh, he's got Slash. This could be deadly.
It's a weak spot. Both Pokemon have taken heavy damage. How's that? Boom! Oh! It's down! And there goes the battle!
Oh my god, there's a Persian on the team. And it's gonna know Slash. And it's gonna go first, like every single time. That's annoying. Boros, Alakazam, and Dealer's Choice.
This is it, the final battle! Who will bask in the glory of the championship?
A good start for us.
They strike fighting poses. Earthquake! Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. What will the trainer do now? A decent hit. Sparks are flying in this heated match. Oh, there's going to be a change of Pokemon. Oh, it's Sandslash! What's this? Yeah, it's a hit! How will the swapped Pokemon fight? No, it is! Blizzard! No! This Pokemon looks wrong! Oh! It's down! What Pokemon will be fighting next?
I thought that Body Slam would be able to finish it off.
Oh, it's Gyarados! How will the type difference affect battle?
Blizzard should work here, right?
They're staring each other down. What now? There!
Is ice not very effective against water?
What'll it do? That's a good hit! The intense battle continues! What's next? Boom!
I think it's different here then, because I swear I've used Blizzard against the Gyarados in the Elite Four, and it's gone down.
We're waiting for the next Pokemon. Oh, it's Alakazam! This is a fight between two different types of Pokemon. They go into battle poses. What's this? The special stat is
Oh my god. By 7? Really?
What now? A decent hit! The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. A psychic blast! Yeah, it's a hit! Oh! Is it down and out? There's only one Pokemon left in reserve. We're down to the last Pokemon. The remaining Pokemon stock is 2-1. The tense battle continues. What'll it do? There, it's a hit. Wow! Going down! Congratulations! The champion has been decided!
Prime Cup Great Ball complete. You must be really confident that we can get through Ultra Ball. Taurus. Tauros, Alakazam, Jolteon, whatever lead. Whoa, something happened there.
It's finally underway. Pokemon Tournament Prime Cup Ultra Ball. Here's hoping that we see brilliant Pokemon strategies and tactics. They go into battle poses. Vigorous attack. Block the weak spot. What'll it do with? Yeah, it's a hit. The intense battle continues.
Earthquake. Oh. My brain was thinking that it's spark flying, but you're right, it's bug poison, isn't it?
Earthquake. There, it's a hit. Wow! Going down.
That was also neutral.
Which Pokemon is coming out?
Oh, this part bug.
Oh, it's Pinsir. The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Yeah, we do. So what are we doing here then?
They're staring each other down. They strike fighting poses. What's that? Boom! Submission going down. It's doubly effective. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle.
Am I swapping to?
They're staring each other down.
Alakazam? Yeah, Alakazam.
The combatants face each other. The Pokemon returns to its Pokeball. Oh, it's Alakazam! What's this? Goodness! How will the swapped Pokemon fight? What now? Hit the weak spot! And it's down! There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Arcana! The remaining Pokemon count is
Arcanine.
3-1. The battle has become one-sided. They go into battle poses. Hit you, Thunder Wave. Oops, it's paralyzed. It's burrowed underground. Sparks are flying in this heated match.
Assuming I'm gonna go ahead and reflect.
Now, it's more resistant to physical blows. There's the attack. There, it's a hit. The heated battle rages on. It's restoring HP. It's paralyzed on the spot. Fireworks are flying in this battle. They strike fighting poses. What'll it do? A savage hit! Savage attack! Yeah, it's a hit! The intense battle continues! The combatants face each other. What's this? Major damage! Flame! A decent hit! Neither one is conceding an inch. A psychic blast! Boom! Oh! Is it down and out?
I have to think more on these. Yeah.
The battle!
That was just a first battle. Alakazam by himself. Like, oh, the line right before this, we definitely gonna need to think more on these. Their teams are becoming more diverse. Alakazam by himself. Oh my god.
What kind of battle can we expect to see? Begin round 2.
Oh gee, I wonder what I'm gonna do here.
A psychic blast! Mighty blow with Word Go! That was quick!
Down already.
This is a wild one from the Word Go! Oh, it's Scyther! How will the type difference affect that? What now? Special stat is down. It's getting pumped up. What a
Pumped up to
furious
die,
battle.
apparently.
What's next? A savage hit! Wow! Going down! There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Poliwrath! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. What'll it do? Devastating!
Super effective and a crit. It's going down.
It's a one-hit wonder! And there goes the battle!
No hip. Abracad. U-Star. Poke Slow. Cutie Zeg. Tough Wig. These names. That Staryu is scary, not gonna lie. That could be a little mini Starmie for all we know, and these are all like psychic types. In a world, psychic Pokemon have no real weakness. Tauros, Gyarados, Jolteon, and Alakazam. Oh, Gyara or Jolteon.
The upcoming battle looks promising. We're into round 3.
Oh no, the mini Starmie came out! No! Ah! Everyone panic! I should have picked Jolteon!
Savage attack. A savage hit. It's
Oh my god.
paralyzed on the spot.
Talk about
What
luck.
a furious battle. Body slam. There, it's a hit. Wow! Going down. We're waiting for the next Pokemon. Oh, it's executed. The Pokemon are entirely different types. Whoa! No! This Pokemon looks wrong. It made itself more evasive. Fireworks are flying in this battle. No, it is! Blizzard! Devastating! Oh! It's down! There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh,
Abracad.
it's Kadabra.
He's going down for body slam.
The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
I would actually be surprised if he survived.
Wow!
Oh, and as a crit, he's definitely going down.
Gone! It's a one-hit wonder! And there goes the battle!
Oh boy. Weezact 1, Rhydact 2, Fablact 3, Cruelact 4, Duact 5, and Cloysact 6. Cloyster has high defense, so does Rhydon. So special attack stuff is what's going to be necessary there for them. Alakazam can probably deal with the Rhydon, Weezing, and Tentacruel. Because the Rhydon has weak defense. Then Jolteon to maybe deal with the 2 water types. I guess Tauros to wrap up the team. This Earthquake can deal with quite a few of them. Venusaur, Alakazam lead. Venusaur, Alakazam, Jolts, I'm guessing. One of them leads, the other one comes in second, and then Jolteon.
The crowd's excitement is building. This is round 4.
Well, this will work out because grass is a special.
Here's the first move. Mighty blow.
Super effective and crit. If he survives, I'll be shocked.
Taken down on the word go. This is a wild one from the word go. Oh, it's Tentacruel. The remaining Pokemon count.
You want me to stick it out and body slam?
This battle is
Do you want me to
still up in the
razor
air.
leaf? I'm gonna swap to Alakazam. So many options.
They're staring each other down.
It's part poison, so I don't know.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. What's the matter, trainer? The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Try razor to start.
They go into battle posing. Oh, a horrible freak! The move failed to glitch. What's next? Nail the weak spot.
Broke even.
Fireworks are flying in this battle. They're staring
Yeah,
each other
breaks
down.
even.
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
I don't know, body slam?
What's the matter, trainer? The trainer hasn't issued an order.
You say he can tank, but it's the second screech in a row he uses on me.
Down. What's this? Power strike! What a furious battle! Body slam!
Do we have equal speed?
And it's down! There's a difference.
I
in
did
the
not know
number
Screech
of
could fail.
reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Rhydon!
Rip.
The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
I know, the first body slam paralysis, I think. If not the second.
Down! That didn't take much! And there goes the
Venusaur carry. You know what? Venusaur did pretty good work. I know we usually go with Executor, but Venusaur is not too bad of a choice either, I think. Oh, look at this tanky bunch. Oh my god, there's a Starmie. Not gonna lie, we ignore Venusaur too much? Probably. I mean, he's got decent stats. He's tanky. He has almost 300 special. He has fairly decent attack. What's Tauros' attack? 298. Venusaur has 262, so he's not trailing too far behind, but Tauros gets the stab on the body slam. This is round 6, I think. No, Labman I think is 5. He's the 5th one. Because then it's the cool trainer. And then the stupid bird guy, which I'm gonna say he's gonna have a Moltres. Because the first 3 times he's had Articuno, Zapdos. Or rather, the first 2 times he's had Articuno and Zapdos. So I won't be surprised if he has some Moltres this time around. But yeah, I think this is the 5th one. So you're saying Jolteon, lead, Alakazam, and Tauros. We are T-waving unless we have super effective advantage.
We're in the last half of the tournament. Things will get white hot. Begin round 5.
I technically have super effective. Or do you still want me to T-wave?
They strike fighting poses. Hit you, Thunder Wave. Oops, it's paralyzed. What will the trainer do now? Boom! Fireworks are flying in this battle. What now? Pow!
Really, game? You could only give me 2? Really? You couldn't give me at least 3, maybe 4? I'm not even asking for 5.
Paralyzed on the spot. Both Pokemon look
So
ready
that did
for more.
weenie damage. Oh, he swapped the Tauros and just body slam him.
They're staring each other down.
One more, don't be scared.
What's this? Super effective.
He's paralyzed again. Are you gonna tell me to pin missile again?
The intense battle continues.
I am a pin missile advocate. Does that mean you want me to pin missile again? Yes. Okay, I'm pin missiling again.
What's that? Smack the weak spot. What'll it do? There, it's a hit. Neither one is conceding an inch.
No, I thought you were going to tell me to pin missile again, Mr. Advocate.
That's a good hit.
Didn't feel like advocating for one more pin missile.
Down. Which Pokemon is coming out? Oh, it's Snorlax. It has to make
What are the
up
chances that
lost ground.
Snorlax has rest?
The Pokemon
Do you
are
think?
entirely different types.
Even if we paralyze it, he'll just rest it away.
They're staring each other down.
He doesn't have much in the special department.
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Holy, I think that Snorlax might have yeah, we're going for continues because this is the Ultra Ball. We're not messing around here.
What's the matter, trainer? The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Alakazam, it's a trade-off with Alakazam though.
What's the matter, trainer?
I think he has whatever special.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. What's the matter, trainer?
Let's see.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. What's the matter, trainer?
He's slow, obviously, and special attack, or rather his special is just 65. His defense is also 65. In fact, his defense and special are both 65, and he's slow at 30. He's got decent attack and decent HP.
What's the matter, trainer?
What's the matter is I'm thinking. Can you not, announcer? Can you let me think?
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
And you can always reflect
matter,
with
trainer?
Alakazam.
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Or we can lead with Tauros, it goes to sleep, and then we set up with Alakazam.
What's the matter, trainer? The trainer hasn't issued an order.
If we were not gonna go for the continue, I don't know. This is Ultra Ball, so I feel like
What's the
Snorlax
matter,
is
trainer?
definitely gonna have rest. Like, it's not just gonna be pure beat 'em up.
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Let's go.
What's the matter, trainer?
Shut up, I'm thinking.
Here's a Pokemon chain. Oh, it's Alakazam! Savage attack!
Of course, first turn body slam paralysis. Why would I expect anything else? I should have gone with Tauros.
They're staring each other down. The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Well, let's be honest, the computer 100% cheated here. a first turn body slam paralysis when I switch to the Pokemon that's probably gonna do the most amount of work. Really? That level of coincidence?
Now,
I mean, at this point, I assume that this
it's the
battle's lost.
revolving door of Pokemon. Oh, it's Carl. What now? Boom! How will the SWAT Pokemon fight? What's this? Power strike! What's that? Yeah, it's a
Why
hit!
didn't you give me a first turn body slam paralysis
The crowd's
game?
excitement is building over this hot battle. What'll it do? There, it's a hit. What now? Good hit. The heated battle rages on. Body slam. That's a good hit. Wow! Going down. There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Porygon. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1.
Should I body slam or should I hyper beam?
Become one-sided.
I don't know. I'm not counting our eggs. I'm not counting our chickens before they hatch.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. What's the matter, trainer?
Hyper beam and pray.
Trainer hasn't issued an order. Ah! Severe hit. Double edge. Boom! And it's down. What will the next Pokemon be? Here's a Pokemon set. The remaining Pokemon stock is 2-1. The combatants are making sparks fly. Savage attack. Yeah, it's a hit. Oh, is it down and out?
I kind of figured T-Bolt was going to take him down at that point.
There goes the battle.
Stupid cheating. Switch to Alakazam. It decides to body slam and first turn body slam paralysis. 3 Pokemon weak to fire types. Tauros is a safe lead. Yeah, I agree. Tauros, Alakazam, and Jolteon.
The field is thinning out. We're into round 6.
Oh, look! What Pokemon is that, One Piece? Mr. Official One Piece Slayer, what Pokemon is that? I've never seen it before.
What'll it be? Boom! Into Thunder Wave. Oops, it's
Oh my god, I read my
paralyzed.
input wrong.
The intense battle continues. It's more resistant to physical blows.
I don't know why. I could swear I pressed the button for Earthquake.
Earthquake. That one hurt. And it's down. What Pokemon will be fighting next? Oh, it's Slowbro. How will the type difference affect that?
Switching to Jolteon, right?
They strike fighting poses. The Pokemon returns to its Pokeball. Oh, it's Jolteon! What'll it do? The special stat is down.
Want me to
How
T-Wave
will
or go straight into the
Pokemon
Thunderbolt?
fight? What's that? Oops, it's paralyzed. It's paralyzed on the spot.
Neato.
Neither one is conceding an inch. What now? Super effective. It
Neato.
can't move again. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. What's this? It's doubly effective. What'll it do? A decent hit.
It lowered our special
Sparks are flying.
the first time.
Heated
If it
match.
hadn't lowered our special, we would have taken it out already.
Right. Thunderbolt. That's the weak spot. Oh, is it down and out? There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Bioflume. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1.
Switch to
The battle has
Alakazam,
become
and
one-sided.
I assume you want me to just Psychic all day.
Here's a Pokemon chase.
Anticipating a Stun Spore.
Oh, it's Alakazam.
Oh no, it's a Petal Dance.
What's that? There, it's a hit. Will this Pokemon swap change the flow of battle? Savage attack. Wow, that's an effective hit. It's thrashing about. What now? Boom! What a furious battle! A psychic blast! Perfect game! Wow! Going down! And there goes the battle!
And good thing I Blizzard right at the beginning and put RNG in our favor. Maybe the game was like, man, this must be like a 2-year-old that doesn't know what they're doing. Let's throw him a bone. I'm gonna hold my argument being that my accidental choice of Blizzard is what gave us that win. Yep, absolutely. Jolteon, Alakazam, and Tauros. Oh look, he has the stupid Moltres like I called it. Jolteon, Alakazam, and Tauros. But the other two don't know how to T-Bolt.
This is it, the semi-finals.
Moltres.
No one wants to lose, having come this far.
Are you sure you don't want me to Thunder Wave the Moltres? You just want me to go straight into T-Bolting?
Savage attack.
Oh, it was a crit.
Taken down on the word go.
How embarrassing. You pulled out a Moltres on the first turn and get it taken out in the very first turn. What a scrub.
Oh, it's Hunter.
Only thing he could have done worse there is if he had accidentally used Blizzard. I'm gonna switch to Tauros, I assume. Or I could also switch to Alakazam. I think Alakazam might be better.
They're staring each other down.
Unless you still want me to T-Bolt everything.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. They go into battle posing. Here's a Pokemon chain. Oh, it's Alakazam. What now? That was weak. How will the SWAT Pokemon fight?
Like a mosquito bit Alakazam.
Ah!
Is there a mosquito Pokemon?
Whoa! That's tough! Gone! It's a one-hit wonder! There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Pidgeot!
Pidgeot trash. So close to being called Pidgeot trash.
The count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. What's this? The special cat is down.
What's a Pokemon that's a mosquito?
It flew up into the sky. Fireworks are flying in this battle. Is more resistant to physical blows. What's next? Oh, the attack missed. The heated battle rages on. What'll it do? Heavy damage. Oh, is it down and out?
Yes, it's down and out. Good to see Bird Boy's Ghastly evolved into a Haunter. Didn't know Haunter was a bird. How much you want to bet that in the Master Ball Cup is this going to be an Articuno, a Zapdos, and a Moltres? Just to be stupid. Buzzwole. Buzzwole? May as well be called Buzzwole. What the hell is this? Looks like a luchador wrestler. Looks like he's gonna make me call him Daddy on Father's Day. What is this? Jeez. Anywho, we're in the finals. 6 continues. We got Electrode, Dragonite, Gengar, Charizard, Lapras, and Dugtrio. And Tauros can take care of the Electrode, the Dragonite, the Gengar, but not the Charizard. So you can take out those 3, so Tauros is a sure fit for coming on into here. Tauros, Alakazam, and Jolteon, and he can lead, but Dugtrio could ruin a Jolteon lead. It's a 1 in 6 chance that Dugtrio's gonna lead. What are the odds? %.
This is it, the final battle! Who will bask in the glory of the championship?
Not a coward. Just thinking intelligently. There's a difference between bravery and stupidity.
No! This Pokemon looks wrong!
Like when I accidentally used Blizzard earlier, that took bravery. Of course he knows Thunder Wave. Why wouldn't he know Thunder Wave?
Battle continue.
And he's swapping out.
Pokemon chain.
Almost like he wanted to do our strategy.
What's this? There, it's a hit. How will the swapped Pokemon fight? What now? What the weak?
If we survive. Paralyzed, we lost.
Paralyzed on the spot.
You saw that camera twitch there? That's how I knew we were gonna lose. I knew the paralysis was gonna hit us. GG.
What'll it do? Yeah, it's a hit. Savage attack. That's the weak spot. Neither one is conceding an inch. A psychic blast.
Well, whatever comes out next is gonna take him out. And I think Dragonite's almost basically dead. Let him die, he did his job. They don't die, they faint! Pokemon don't die! This is a children's game.
Oh, it's Alakazam! It has to make up for lost ground. How will the type difference affect that?
Never mind the fact that I've probably said die like every single one of the playthroughs. Every single session that I've played of this game. What are we at, 25 right now? 25 sessions of Pokemon Yellow and Stadium.
Pokemon swap.
What are you bringing out, nerd?
Oh, it's Charizard! This is a fight between two different types of Pokemon.
Should I leave out Alakazam and just do whatever to this guy?
Now, what's next? The special stat is down.
Oh, he's got
What's
Slash.
this? Powerful strike. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. What now? Harsh blow. Wow! Going down. There's only one Pokemon left in reserve. There's nothing left in reserve. This one's already taken serious damage. It's worrisome.
It's
The remaining
worrisome.
Pokemon stock is 2-1. Savage attack.
My god, the announcer just...
That's a good
Oh my
hit.
god.
And
He didn't
it's
have to
down.
say it like that. I wouldn't want him to say that to me.
Congratulations! The champion has been decided!
Could have just said things are looking tough. No, this man said it's worrisome. Tauros, Alakazam, Venusaur, Jolteon are stars. Yeah. Prime Cup Ultra Ball has been cleared. Just want to look at the pretty trophies. My god, look at all those trophies. Not gonna lie, I'm making you a Venusaur lover. Venusaur is a tough cookie. Only thing I hate is that he can't learn Sludge in this in Gen 1. I know he can learn it at least by Gen 4. Yeah, his moveset in this game is kind of meh. But a Venusaur in Gen 2 with maybe like hidden power. Oh, ideally a good hidden power. Like hidden power water or something. To deal with like fire types. Time to knock out. Congratulations on 3 cups. Hey man. Couldn't have done it without you. So we already know what's gonna happen now. It's time to try and capture Mewtwo on stream. And honestly, I think we could probably do 4 cups, but I'm trying to get that Pikachu with Surf. Look at this beautiful team here. Oh, Pidgeot can't fly here, that's right. By the way, I don't know if you noticed my time. My time doesn't run anymore. For anybody who's like, was he actually grinding all of this out? Yeah, it was. Look at that, 255 hours and 59 minutes. The clock does not run beyond this. And 999,999 monies, Poké Dollars, whatever this is called. Oh wait, that's right. We found out that we could swap this, I think, to 720 it was. Yeah, I know you're gonna have a little conniption, but it kind of fills that out. I just don't like that it doesn't fill it out very good. What if I set it to 480? What if we go even further beyond? I don't even think my monitor can support 480. Oh my god, that's way too big. What happens if I pick VGA? Can my monitor support that? Oh, my monitor can support it. And it doesn't look that bad. But, does not translate good for stream. Unless we use different borders. So that border doesn't work. Nope. Nope. Yeah, we're gonna stick to the 1080p border. Wish I could fill it out cleanly. All right, let's get out of that menu. And just in case that the sound desynced, I'm gonna go ahead and deactivate the video real quick. We're gonna fly to Cerulan City. Alright, so things we're gonna need to do. Do I need strength in Cerulan Cave? I know I need at least I think I just need Surf. Right? I just dropped my controller. And my controller desynced because it fell. And I got it working again. Here. Oh. Let's lift this up just a teeny tiny bit. Okay. I don't know how many items there are to collect either in Cerulan Cave. First things first. I know I don't need Pidgeot for now. Right? Because we're not going to be flying around anywhere. And yeah, I think with this team we're good. How many items do we need? Or how many slots do I have open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why is it doing that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We can only pick up 4 items. Oh, what do I think I'm not gonna need? Gonna need the Master Ball because I'm not even thinking about it. We're just gonna toss the Master Ball at Mewtwo. Don't need the revives, I don't think. Keep accidentally always picking Bill's PC. The full heals might be useful. Just in case anything happens. Honestly, all of this is useful. I don't think I'm going to be teaching Surf and Strength to anything anytime soon. I think I can safely deposit Surf and Strength. We have 6 slots open. You know what? I would rather have the full restores. Oh, I don't even have room to store any more items. Fantastic. Oh, so we're going to work with that. If we pick up anything that's kind of useless, we're just going to leave it behind. Or we're going to toss it. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and save. Hey, the dude that's usually here is gone. Oh, there's a trainer there? I'm not gonna mess with her. Alright, here we go. Golbat! We're not gonna fight anything here. Alright, Max Elixir is a good item, we'll keep that. Yeah, I guess there's no other way to go but here. Any number of ways to go. Oh, there's an item over there. Okay, so this goes where? Oh, Rhydons are in here too. I don't know where this goes. I don't know where I am. Keep exploring. I see items. I want to get the items. Oh, Weeping Bell inside a cave? That's weird. Alright, if this starts getting too annoying, you already know what I'm gonna do. Oh, Diddles are in here? Wait a minute. We're going back. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I already know why. You guys already know I'm going back, right? How much you want to bet we would have gotten to Mewtwo? I'm in a full box. What you want to bet? I mean, not that we needed a full box, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Release. Yeah, this is an open box. And we have 1 slot, just in case I want to capture anything. Alright, on Blastoise is back. Let's go. Alright, so we can skip a good chunk of this. An Ultra Ball, not that we need it, so I'll probably toss that because that's going to take up space, unnecessary space. Check up here. Alright, so we found a Max Revive. Max Revives are good, right? I think random blocks are gonna have stuff in them. I should check dead ends for sure. Maybe random blocks. Oh, that's a PP up. What's the other way have? Nothing? Wait, no, we already picked up the thing here, didn't we? I thought... Did we? Picked up the thing there. Listen, right on. Because you were one of the first designed Pokemon. Ooh, what's this? A water route? Let's check out what's down. Or we could get into in a battle with a Graveler. 45 Graveler. Anything? Nope, just a rare candy. Another Ultra Ball. Wait, what? That's it? That's this whole route? Are you kidding me? I want to capture Dittos. There's gonna be... Why are you just here? TP up. Almost like it wants me to catch a Ditto. Full restore? We already have plenty of full restores, dude. Nothing. Okay, no, seriously, that's a lot of Dittos. We came from here. We went through here. There was nothing. I guess, yeah, we don't have a choice but to go about this block and this block, and this is none of those blocks have anything. Right, let's start going that way, I guess. Okay, that takes us to a ladder. That's kind of anticlimactic. So let's check the other way. Either the other way is gonna also have a ladder, or there's probably gonna be an item or a dead end. I don't know. Alright, so it's definitely the right way. Aha! We found the other item. Oh, glooms are also in here. Weeping bells are in here too, so I guess that's not too surprising. Anything? Nope. Anything? Always gotta check these solitary rocks. We found 2 PP ups. I know official One Piece Slayer that want me to use them on probably Alakazam. Oh, that's anticlimactic. Thought this would be more maze-like, but it's more, just follow these very straight, very direct routes. Oh, hello. Not to you, Rhydon, Rhyhorn. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I can't take 3 steps without getting attacked. Ooh, 2 items. A max revive? And no more room for items, so something's got to go. I want the rare candies, I want the max revives. Don't need the ultra balls. What is it? An ultra ball! Are you kidding me? My lord, this is so painful. I'm trying not to use my... Is that another Ultra Ball? Whatever, I'll keep the Ultra Balls. Oh, there's a Mewtwo. Mew! Wild Mewtwo appeared. Go Pikachu! Let's go ahead and Thunder Wave it. Got Psychic, but I'm level 100. That still did more damage than I thought it was going to do. Like, can we Body Slam it and not kill it? That's with the crit. Oh my god, he's got to recover. Ultra Ball, go! What? Are you kidding me? Okay, that was a little anticlimactic. It's probably not going to be a good Mewtwo, though. Let's see its data. The genetic Pokemon. Its DNA is almost the same as Mew's, however, its size and disposition are vastly different. I did not expect the first Ultra Ball to catch it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Alright, so good old Mewtwo at level 70. Let's see what you look like. 180 attack. 132 defense, 234 special, and 206 speed. Wow, you have perfect attack stats, almost perfect speed stats. Your special is kind of garbage at 10, and you have 1 defense and 12 for HP. Honestly, if this wasn't 1 defense, it would be tempting to keep. And it's a crit. Of course. Oh yeah, I should set up the counter, right? Alright, we've caught Mewtwo once. Of course. Of course. Oh, okay. The second time we caught Mewtwo. Alright. Mewtwo with the 241 HP, so it's already heart garbage. And the 174 attack. 139 to defense. Speed went down a bit. And special is absolutely garbage. You're gonna be a garbage Mewtwo. Yep, we're not keeping you. That was our second attempt at Mewtwo. I'll do a couple of attempts of just straight up just trying to capture it with an Ultra Ball. Let's say after our 5th attempt we just start using, oh my god, Master Balls. Oh my god. The fact that it has recover, and it's just spamming it too. But also, if it takes too many Ultra Balls, he's probably going to be not very good. Oh, steaming pile of garbage. Its speed is already, just by staring at the speed, I know it's going to be garbage. Its special went up a teeny tiny little bit. Its attack also dropped. Oh my god, this might objectively be one of the worst Mewtwo's that we're gonna catch tonight. Yeah, 3 of the stats are 3, 5, and 3. Attack, special, and speed in particular. It's got great HP and great defense. So that was our 3rd Mewtwo we captured. Uncanny. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I keep accidentally doing that. Whoa, ho, ho. Ho, 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 my god. Guys. I might keep this Mewtwo. It's got perfect IVs in HP and defense. Its attack is 13. Its special is 13. And its speed is 11. Oh my god. Official One Piece Slayer, why are you sleeping? We didn't even use the Master Ball, oh my god. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. That man is long since asleep, by the way. I'm confident he's been asleep. Well, time to knock out. He sent that at 11:45 Eastern time. It is now 12:15 Eastern time, so it's been roughly about 30 minutes. I'm sure this man is asleep. I think we're gonna keep, guys. I did plug this in correctly, right? I'm not stupid. Speed 202, special 238. Okay, special is 13 basically. It's got perfect HP and def. I'm keeping it. Oh my, why am I even thinking about it? I'm keeping this Pokemon. I know I can technically cheese it. I've talked about the fact that I used the Game Boy. Yeah, the GB operator from Epilogue, so I could always just reload a save and go after it again until I find the right one. But honestly, guys, I think this is the Mewtwo to keep. Where's my Oh yeah, Pikachu, what's your so much for seeing Pikachu's reaction. Thank you, Golbat! Oh, wait, what? Wow, Pokedex, 150 out of 150, which is ironic because we only have 150 out of 150 because we also have Mew that I caught early on. And it's kind of ironic when you think about it. The fact that I caught Mew right next to Cerulan Cave, and that's also where Mewtwo is. My only wish is that speed would have been just a little bit better, but man, I really can't complain about those stats. My god! Can't wait to start leveling up this Mewtwo. Don't I have escape rope though? I felt like I had escape rope. Well, yeah, I do. It's just that I'm blind. Oh my gosh, we caught Mewtwo, guys. We really did it. So now all that there is to do is get the Electabuzz off of official One Piece Slayer. I will have the Pokedex complete. Officially complete. Oh, I guess we could technically talk to Professor Oak and be like, hey, look, we got 150 Pokemon, sir. See what he has to say. Your Pokedex is fully complete. Congratulations. It's not fully complete, man. Like, it's not fully complete, sir. Saving again. That's the paranoia is real. I'm gonna save and I'm gonna back up this save right now, guys, because I know my luck. Alright. So I gotta cut this off for a moment. I can't just yank the cartridge out. So 1 second. Oh, you know what? Just in case. Gotta deactivate that because I think my set box for my TV also comes through there, so I don't want to get a... Yep, it just came in on my main monitor just now. So good thing I cut that off. I don't want to get yelled at by my TV service provider saying that I'm streaming television, although right now it's on a screensaver. Let's go ahead and save a copy of this save file so that we never lose this Mewtwo. Guys, we did it. And this is just the beginning, because I do intend to play through all of the Pokemon games and properly beat them. That's something I've never caught all the Pokemon, and that's something that I want to do. Alright, so there, we should have a backup copy of that. Go ahead and plug this back in. Oh my god, I gotta switch off. Hold on, guys, because I don't want to have my service provider on here. There we go. Oops. Can we get a signal? Can we get a signal? We're not getting a signal. What the heck? Why aren't we getting a signal? Come on, Ultra HDMI 64. Not, well, no, this isn't Ultra. This is Pixel Effects. My Ultra HDMI 64 is elsewhere. What the heck? Why isn't it showing a signal now? Oh, there we go. About to throw my sandal at it. Whew. We have Mewtwo. Oh my god, we have Mewtwo. We have Mewtwo. Vicious psychic Pokemon created by genetic engineering. Its cold, glowing eyes strike fear into its enemies. We did it. So now for next week, I'm going to be grinding out the last few Pokemon that I should probably have just for Master Ball Cup. And then we can start talking about doing Crystal version and we can start talking about doing Crystal and Gold. And I think official One Piece Slayer will help me out by doing Silver version. I still can't believe we caught Mewtwo on our third try. I'm still staring at these IVs, guys. It's HP. It had 249 HP, which means it has perfect HP IVs. Its attack is 100 and well, I'm sorry. Its attack's 177, which is 13. The highest it could have been is 180. Its defense was perfect, 152 defense. I just want to keep staring at those stats. 13 IVs into special. Look at it in here. $177, 152, 238, and 202. The only stat that could have been a little bit better was speed. It's the lowest one, but it's at 11. It's over 10 of my criteria. This Mewtwo is pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really happy. Tonight's stream was really good. Whew. All right. I think that this is a good place to stop for the night because we've also been streaming for how long now? Almost 3 hours. I got my work cut out for me. I gotta do Executor. I gotta do Mewtwo now. I want to do Mew as well. Probably Starmie. I want to get a lot of the Pokemon that actually help me do the things that I did in this playthrough to 100. Yeah. So, whew, this is great, and we did 3 of these cups. Now, the reason that we chose not to do Master Ball, just so you guys know, because I was talking to official One Piece Slayer about it, is I want to include Pikachu in there because I want Pikachu to learn Surf. I want my Pikachu to know Surf, but I can only teach it Surf if he is on the winning team. He has to be used every single fight in Master Ball, Round 2, Prime Cup Master Ball, Round 2. Has to be on every single team. So basically, I hate to say it, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be like a 2-on-3 the entire way through, which is why I want to catch Mewtwo at this time. But we're almost there. Oh my god, I will have actually beaten Pokemon Stadium 1. I'm really stoked. I'm really excited, guys. So I think this is a good place, like I said, to cut it off for tonight. I want to thank everyone that popped in on the stream to watch, whether you are lurking, whether you are speaking. I appreciate the views. I appreciate you guys coming in. And yeah, can't wait to get to next Sunday for the stream and seeing how much further we can go. and actually beat this game for good. I'm so excited. So again, I want to thank you guys for coming in and watching. If you want to know my socials, let's go ahead and plug them in right now into the chat. Right, you can go ahead and give me a follow right over at twitter.com/Lee Mustang if you want to know when I'm going to be streaming. I usually post right before I stream on there. You can go ahead and give me a follow over at instagram.com/Lee.Mustang. If you want to see what I'm adding to my game collection over time, I actually picked up some really cool reproduction Pokemon cases off of Gaming Relics website. Actually, I got it off their eBay, but Gaming Relics has some really cool, this isn't sponsored by the way, but Gaming Relics has some really cool custom cases that you can use for some of your older games, and most of them are only like $5-6 a pop, I think. So I think that's really cool. If you want to see that stuff, go ahead and head on over to, I believe it's Gaming Relics. Hold on, I don't want to misspeak and then send you guys to the wrong place. GamingRelics.com. And yeah, it's GamingRelics.com. GamingRelics.com. They got some really cool cases. I bought cases for all of my older, like pre-DS Pokemon games, and I have them all in there now. That's really cool. And it's a much nicer display, I feel like, instead of the way I was having them displayed. But hey, it's really cool. I don't know. Give their website like a browse, see if you see anything that you like, if you like setting up stuff like that. Again, not sponsored. They didn't give me anything. They didn't pay me. They didn't do any of that. I feel like I have to say that. Is this my personal opinion? Like, I ordered those cases, and every single one of those cases, I was like, wow, this is really nice. So go ahead and check it out. See maybe if they have cases that you like on there. They do take up, like, if you're getting it or anything that's not like, what's the word I want to use? If it's not a portable console, then those cases are huge. So otherwise, I'd get one for every single game I have, but there's no way I could fit all that on my shelves. I would need bigger shelves. So if you guys have any recommendations for shelves, let me know. But anyway, I was plugging my socials. What am I doing? So we talked about my Twitter, talked about my Instagram, and now, of course, my YouTube. If you want to see the previous sessions to this stream, through this run through that I've been doing, where you can see my entire playthrough of Yellow, as well as sections where I jump in with Stadium here, and go ahead and give me a follow over at youtube.com/Lee Mustang. And I know some people are looking for OutTech stuff. I'm looking into uploading to some other OutTech websites, so I might be syncing my stuff over to some other places. I haven't decided yet. I don't know how that works, but I figure more exposure is good. But for now, you can find all of my stuff over at youtube.com/Lee Mustang. And of course, if you happen to be watching this at youtube.com/Lee Mustang, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Subscribe to my channel to help it grow. Click the little bell icon to be in the know. And I will see you guys in the next part. Until then, guys, take care.